he's that guy from that thing.
got
Groundhog
really
Day. Just
yes.
go with Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, and also has a bit part in Memento.
Uh-huh.
He's the one who I can't remember if it gives the wife the overdose.
Well, that's ironic that you can't remember something from Memento.
Yes, very good. This has got a great cast.
A really good cast.
And everybody in this film is so likeable, and the main villain is so hated. I can't think of a film where Ben Kingsley hasn't played a baddie that isn't Gandhi. And even then, topical, but not my opinions, but I know some people who didn't like him.
Well, absolutely. Ben Kingsley, I love with all my heart.
Do you have a favourite film of Ben Kingsley?
Is it Sexy Beast?
Oh, Sexy Beast.
He is so completely terrifying.
I can't say the word that best describe him because I don't want to offend anybody.
Does it begin with C?
Yeah, I think we all know what it begins with. But
cat.
yes, he's a rotter.
He's
a right proper rotter.
But he has this kind of real look. He does this look in his eyes, and you just think he is looking directly into my soul. No, I love him so much. He's just so brilliant as a baddie.
I thought it was really good as Trevor Slattery in Iron Man 3.
Yes.
But oddly enough,
that was a bit of a different turn for him. Because,
it was good though.
Yeah. But he did he played the role of the Mandarin very, very well.
Yeah. Oh, it was scary.
He was very scary. And then it was so funny that he was this sort of, it could have been in Spinal Tap kind of character.
Very funny.
Yeah, I love him, passionately.
Let's talk a little bit about Robert Redford.
Let's talk about Robert Redford.
So how do you feel? Have you got a favourite Robert Redford film? Because this is something which always, if you ask somebody what's your favourite Harrison Ford film or Jeff Goldblum, you can tell a lot by that person.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering what your favourite Robert Redford film is.
I don't know, because I'm not that familiar with his body of work.
All right, okay, fair enough. He's done loads of films, but within the last, let's say, 20, 30 years, they've been a little bit sparse, should we say. I mean, he is in the highest grossing film of all time, though.
Which is?
Avengers Endgame.
Of course he is.
You just kind of like, what? Yeah.
Do you know what happens? I get really nervous with trivia.
Okay.
And then I don't want to sound stupid, and my brain goes into custard, so...
Nobody at all is going to think that you're stupid, apart from the listeners and me.
Apart from everyone who's downloaded this.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm comfortable with that.
Can I just point out that my favourite Robert Redford film is... It's probably not his most famous, because I think his most famous is either The Natural or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. But it's definitely up there, and that's In the Sting.
Okay, yeah.
I love that film.
I don't know if I've seen The Sting or not.
Oh, that is a Sunday movie.
We'll have to watch it.
It's a very good film. It's very long, but it's also really, really good. It's really, really good. It's where The Entertainer comes from.
Ah, yes, I know.
Yeah, I won't go into that because I'll get that stuck in everyone's head. So yeah, I love Robert Redford. Yeah, I know that he one of his last films was The Mule, I think it was,
right,
which is a really good film. Really, really good. Also, he did a film called All Is Lost about a man who's trapped at sea, and there's like hardly any dialogue in it, but it is brilliant. And it's so... That is a very tense film. So, what do you want to talk about? Anybody you got in mind?
I wouldn't mind talking a little bit about Dananananaykroyd.
Dananananaykroyd.
Dananananaykroyd, thank you.
This was, so I'll say, Dan Aykroyd, who is absolutely brilliant. Within the last few years, he hasn't done many good films. I'm talking Christmas with the Cranks.
Sure.
Which we watch that every Christmas.
Even though it's terrible.
It is terrible. It makes no sense towards the end. He also did a film called Nothing But Trouble.
Right.
With Chevy Chase, John Candy and Demi Moore, which was just a massive mess. He's very strange because I think this was one of his last great films.
Uh-huh.
Haven't got a list right in front of me, but I know, like, after this he did Casper, which I don't like Casper.
I love Casper.
Casper's rubbish. Come on.
I didn't say it was good. I said I love it. Come on.
But yeah, prior to this, he'd been in so many good films. Ghostbusters, Blues Brothers, so many great films.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's kind of obvious what your favourite film is going to be.
No.
It isn't? Okay, do you have a favourite Dananananaykroyd film?
Yeah, no, probably Blues Brothers, to be fair.
Really? Blues Brothers? I thought it was going to be Ghostbusters for sure.
I don't know. I really do love the Blues Brothers. I think that, it is a lot of fun. And I haven't seen it for a long time, actually, but I always really, really enjoy watching it. And I think that I really enjoy the sort of deadpan performance of Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi.
I really like Carrie Fisher in that, actually.
And Carrie Fisher, yeah. I just, it makes me smile, and I am a real sucker for a film that I can sing along to as well,
Yes, I do know that. I've just noticed that Dan Aykroyd played Yogi Bear in the Yogi Bear film.
Oh, okay.
With Justin Timberlake as Boo Boo.
Right. Was that recent? Or?
That was. Apparently that was 10 years ago.
Not that recent.
No, not that recent at all. But yeah, I feel like he hasn't done very many great films within the last, let's say, 20 years. I know he did Evolution.
Yeah.
That was an okay film, but also it's a bit silly. But yeah, he's one of those comedic actors that, much like Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, hasn't really shone over the last few years. I mean, with Steve Martin, apart from his turns in 30 Rock and been a couple of little things, and also Bowfinger, which I really, really love.
Yeah,
hasn't done loads.
No, that's true. I mean, I suppose it must be difficult to get cast, when you reach a certain age.
That's sad.
I know it's sad, but it's true.
Right.
And especially in kind of comedic roles, if you're not the kind of hot thing at that time.
Oh my God, I've just realised something.
What?
He was in Grosse Point Blank.
Of course he was.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about that.
That film that we reviewed.
Shame on Matt, shame.
But yeah, I think it does obviously get difficult. There aren't as many roles when you get to a certain age, so what can you do unless you write them for yourselves, and then you have to have the money and the backing and blah blah blah. So I think it's just difficult for even if they're a brilliant actor or a fantastic comedian, if there's not a role for you, what can you do?
I think Dananana Aykroyd is only too busy because he's chasing aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's and also he owns the Crystal Skull vodka.
Well,
thing.
he's making
that
people
stuff
drunk.
Is nice.
He's making people drunk. So
Well done, Dananana Aykroyd.
Thank you for your service.
You're a great man.
He's chasing aliens. Is that true? He's chasing them with Tongue DeLong.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's heavily into the Men in Black sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He thinks that, which is right on.
Right on, yeah, why not? He probably knows more than we do about that sort of thing.
He's very knowledgeable with the paranormal.
Yes, I mean, he was talking on
Joe Rogan
about his haunted house, wasn't he?
Yeah, and it's quite interesting.
It is, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, what else?
What else? Let's talk about River Phoenix.
Yes, River Phoenix. I'm very sad about his passing, of course, which was in 1993.
Yeah, he was very young, in his early 20s, wasn't he?
Yeah. He did have such a promising career ahead of him, and this is one of the films which I'm not sure many people would remember him by.
No.
A lot of people remember him for either My Own Private Idaho, Stand By Me, The Explorers, or Indiana Jones, where he played young Indy.
But you think about the actors who he is playing alongside in this, Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, he really holds his own next to some really fantastic actors.
Oh, definitely.
Considering how young he was.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I will say that everybody in this film is perfectly cast for the characters that they're portraying. I mean, we've just spoken about Dananananaykroyd and him being a conspiracy theorist, and look who he's playing in Sneakers, a conspiracy theorist. Sidney Poitier was really good. He seemed quite a hard, gruff man in this film, and he was playing an ex-CIA agent.
Yeah.
So, and he even gets like the bit at the end where he beats those two guys up. It's perfectly cast. It is perfectly cast. This film. It is a very, very 90s film.
It is.
Which I say that without throwing any kind of slander or shade at them at all. It's just a lot of this film is like, oh, that's so 90s,
Yeah.
But it doesn't date it.
No, I didn't. I wasn't like overtly aware of, how dated it was. It was using kind of, obviously sort of clunky looking technology, but because of the kind of, type of work they were doing, it didn't seem to be like, oh, look at that, because it was all kind of, decoding stuff, and I wouldn't know what that looks like anyway. So,
well, I mean, there's probably an app on your iPhone for that.
Probably,
There's an app for that.
There's an app for everything.
You wanna break into the air traffic control? There's an app for that.
Yeah. Oh God, don't.
Sorry, that's a really old slogan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just thought, oh my God, Matt, get with the times, old man.
It's fine. I think one of my favourite things about this is the character of Whistler.
He's really good. David Strathairn?
Yep.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
It's such a great idea because he is, constantly kind of thinking outside the box, and he's not at all, apart from in one section, hindered by the fact that he's blind. And, I really enjoy how they bring in using hearing rather than other senses.
So, like describing where Bishop, Rob Redford's character, was kidnapped to.
So it's like, what did it sound like? He keeps saying, what did it sound like?
Yeah.
The road, and they managed to figure out where he was taken according to what it sounded like on the way there.
Cocktail party.
Yeah. Which was a gaggle of geese.
Yeah, that was very good.
But I enjoyed that very much, and I thought he's a very, very funny character as well. And that's just a really interesting spin, I felt, on, kind of, you'd have thought it would be impractical to have someone with a, disability, lacking one of their senses. But, it's not, he is probably one of the most capable members of the team.
Oh,
and
definitely.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he's not hindered at all, is he? He's
not at all.
They don't like go, oh, well, you can't do this. And this is the 90s film. Well
it was
done.
Very unusual for the 90s, which is why I enjoyed it so much. I think it's, kind of an unexpected thing is not only do they have a blind man on their team, he's actually probably the best one.
Yeah.
And kind of figures out most of the stuff that's going on. So,
yeah.
They rely on his kind of heightened sense of hearing to actually, get everything done, which is cool.
Can we just quickly mention, before we skip on to anything else,
yeah,
James Earl Jones is in it for a couple of minutes. I love him.
Mufasa. Yes, yeah, he's literally in it, like right at the end.
But he's brilliant.
For a couple of minutes, and he really leaves a lasting impression. It's such a brilliant scene, which I would imagine you're probably going to talk about.
I am.
Shall we talk about our favourite scenes? I can go first, so you have more time on yours.
Okay, sure, go for it.
And this actually leads nicely on, because my favourite scene is when Bishop he has basically asked Whistler to drive to the building.
Yes.
And Whistler is blind, so it is just, you have to watch it. It's very physical.
There's a slight incline coming up. It's like, okay. Whoa!
Yeah, it's very, very funny, and and well done. So that's my favourite scene, just because it's like, what the. But he does it successfully.
He does it, yeah. It is a very good scene. And David Strathairn, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that name, I do apologise, is bloody brilliant as Whistler.
He's so good, yeah.
He is very, very good. My favourite scene, now, it's kind of obvious, for anybody who has seen this film, it's the final scene, which I don't want to give away spoilers or anything.
No.
But I've called it the demands
Yes.
scene.